What is going on, guys? Smooth Racing here, back with a brand new video. And today we've got our F1 2014 Bahrain second Bahrain test, and this was day 2 then. And I'm sorry I didn't do a review for day 1, so I was out all day, but I'm back now with my day 2 review. And let's start off as always with the timesheet then, and the fastest time, once again as with day 1, was Sergio Perez in his Force. He did really impressive stuff from the Force India team and Sergio Perez himself. He managed to do a 1:35.570, really good for him. And second was Alonso with a 1:35.634. With a 1:35.743 was Daniel Ricciardo in Red Bull. That was actually the fastest lap set by Red Bull in winter testing so far, round Bahrain, so really impressive stuff from Red Bull, and this was a very good day for them in terms of lap times and in terms of stints, but I'll get onto that later in the video. In fourth was Felipe Massa for Williams. He did a 1:36.692. Fifth was Button in his McLaren. Sixth was Bianchi. Seventh was Hamilton. Jean-Luc Vergne in his Taurus. He did a 1:39.636 to go 8th. In ninth was Esteban Gutierrez in his Sauber. Lotus driver Pastor Maldonado got 10th, and Marcus Ericsson finished at the bottom of the timesheets with a 1:42.516 in his Caterham. So we'll start off for once with the back of the grid. We'll go from the back to the front of the grid then and discuss each team and how they got on then in the second test of Bahrain, test 2. And start off then with Caterham and Marcus Ericsson. He did 55 laps in his Caterham, and Caterham, seemed to be getting some good laps in, but don't seem to be able to getting the good times in. Only 1:42.5. They're really struggling to do with pace. They're usually be found at the bottom of the table, and just quite far behind Marussia. And certainly in terms of the Renault, the other Renault users, they're certainly the slowest. And at the moment seems to be the slowest in the field. But of course, you can't read too much into testing time, so we'll have to see. But not looking good for Caterham. And also they had a fire. And there should be a picture or two of the car after it had caught on fire. So quite dramatic stuff for Caterham, but nothing to worry about with that fire really. Just sort of a Renault issue, but I'm sure they'll get sorted. But the main thing in terms of pace, Caterham not looking the best. Moving on to Marussia, complete contrast. They were right on the pace, a 1:38.092 for them. Incredible, and 75 laps for Jules Bianchi. Marussia had a terrible last 4 days. They sort of had a terrible Bahrain test 1, and then certainly yesterday was a awful day for Marussia. So now they're back, got the technical glitch sorted, and have 75 laps then today, and 6th fastest time on day 2. And I think they could be up there, maybe beating Toro Rosso, and certainly I think definitely beating Caterham, and possibly into the reaches of 8th or 9th. So really good stuff for Marussia. Toro Rosso, 61 laps, pretty good for Toro Rosso. Not too much happening for them. It's a fairly average day for them. Vergne got a lot of lap times in, but the times aren't really the best. But we have seen, I suppose, a tiny bit better from Toro Rosso. But moving on to Sauber, Esteban Gutierrez did 106 laps, another plus 100 laps for Sauber. Really good stuff. They do seem to be coming on strong in the final few days, which of course is the most important days as it is closest to the season starting. And maybe not headline lap times, but I think he was sort of going to a race simulation. So some good work for Gutierrez, and some good data for Sauber also. Moving on to Williams, Felipe Massa also completing over 100 laps. He did 103 laps, so great stuff from him. Force India, Sergio Perez, like I mentioned earlier on in the episode, doing really well, setting the fastest time. And of course I'm a Force India fan, so I'll be hoping that will translate to race pace. But if you take the fastest time from the first Bahrain test 1, Rosberg was going on a qualifying simulation and he did 1:33. So we're just sort of 2 seconds off for Perez. So actually some really good stuff from him, and some really good data for Force India, and definitely a force to be reckoned with in 2014, and possibly maybe even reaches a regular points and podium contender perhaps. But that's we've all got that looked forward to. On, of course, I think it's the 17th of March. We'll be seeing that first F1 race of the season. I cannot wait. That'll be really good to see all the reliability issues it probably is going to have. And it's actually on the 16th then. 16th of March will be the first race. But moving back to the teams then, who haven't, move on to Lotus next. Pastor Maldonado Only 31 laps for him, not the best day for Lotus. Not really liking the look of their car from the front, really. I don't really like that nose, but they've got a nice car, but sadly we might not be seeing that car too much at the start of the season, as it might be retiring quite a lot. I think not being at the pref test might have hurt Lotus a tiny bit, but not really the running they're wanting to getting at the moment. I think they're last in terms of kilometres. I think they've only got about 886 kilometres. Yeah, they've got 886 kilometres done. That's the same as Marussia, but Lotus just really have to go for mileage in the past 2 days. You can't really read too much into their times. They could have a quick car, we just don't know at the moment. And Red Bull, probably one of the surprises of the day. Getting 66 laps and that 1:35.7, really good stuff from Ricciardo. Could be a sign for the future of things, becoming a bit better for the Milton Keynes outfit. They definitely need for things to go on the up. Jenson Button in his McLaren encountered in a problem. He went into the gravel, I think, early on in the session, not really getting too much running until right at the end. He only managed 52 laps, proving that the McLaren is not bulletproof. And also the Mercedes encountered more problems, as Hamilton crashed in the morning and also had a gearbox issue, I think. I'm not sure that was related, but 89 laps nevertheless, which is really impressive. The rate that Hamilton and Mercedes can just get back on track is really impressive from them, so really good stuff. But that happens in the race, and of course there's no coming back from that. They'll be out, so we'll have to see. Could the Mercedes be really fast but unreliable? We'll have to wait to find out. And finally, Ferrari, then the last team to mention. Fernando Alonso did the most laps of anyone, 122, did a 1:35.634, arguably their best day for Ferrari. So basically, to sum up the day then, really good for all Ferrari engine users. Force India once again topping the timesheets, an improved day for Red Bull, but poor days for Lotus and Caterham. So then I'll be back tomorrow then, hopefully, for the Bahrain Test 2 Day 3 review, but hopefully you'll be joining me for that then, and please like, share and subscribe for weekly F1 and motorsport content. I was Racing, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.